Hello, everyone, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm NV Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And we're back once again with more of the live-action American adaptations of anime, or in this case, a manga, because this week was 2013's Oldboy. Yes, he was gonna...
I was gonna say, it's based off the 2003 film, which was based off of the manga, so technically this never got an anime adaptation.
Close enough, honestly. I mean, there's so few, like, American adaptations of these things that it was just one of those things you had to count. If there were a bunch more, I might not count this, simply for technicality type stuff, if we were saying purely for anime, but as is, might as well include it. How was everybody's week watching this?
No.
Hey, Al?
No.
Hey, yeah?
I've decided I hate movies again.
It's like just flips back and forth every fucking week.
I absolutely fucking hated this.
Yeah, what the fuck was this movie?
This was Oldboy.
Did anyone besides me know anything about this movie?
I did.
I knew about the 2003 film with the famous hallway scene. That was,
it's a good hallway scene. Not so much here, but
the original looks great.
The original's really... Well, we'll get to that. What were your thoughts?
Mine?
Yeah.
It was very mediocre to me.
Yeah, I kind of am in the same boat.
It was just a typical Hollywood action, whatever kind of movie.
I watched it. I don't think I'd watch it again, but, didn't really leave much of an impression.
It was kind of...
It had a good director, too, which surprises me.
I've, watched a number of his movies.
I love Spike Lee.
Yeah. Did you guys ever see, I don't know if people know this one as much, Summer of Sam?
I've not heard of it.
I remember watching in one of the classes. It's about this week or maybe a month in New York back in the summer of 1969 or 1970s. Whenever the son of Sam was going around killing people, and it's about all that sort of stuff. Trippy movie, very interesting though. This one not as much.
Yeah, he did nothing with this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the characters to me were just very flat. I hated the main guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
At most I pitied him, but that's not good enough to make me care about him or like him. And then the villain was just such a sinister, mustache-twisting kind of guy. He felt like he came from a different movie.
And yet I had fun with that.
But he felt misplaced. I don't know. It was
fair.
Pretty bad.
That's very fair. Should we get into plot?
The characterization is, really weird compared to the 2003 Korean version.
Oh, okay. So you have seen the 2003?
I have, yes.
Okay, so you'll be the best person to make comparisons on that. I've mostly seen a couple scenes, and especially the hallway scene.
I've seen
a few.
So what I know most, and a lot of critics said this, is Lee copy-pasted the entire movie, but did it worse.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Looking at a side-by-side of the more famous scenes, like the hallway scene, I could definitely say that's true. Should we get into plot?
Might as well get it over with.
Cool.
I mean, I didn't say what I
go. Go tell your thing.
Yeah. You know that meme where it's the football player, it says, they had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of the reverse for me. I really liked the first half of this movie, and then the second half, once it got through its twists, especially its final twist ending, I was just sitting here on my couch looking at my laptop thinking, what? Just no visceral reaction, just what?
Felt kind of random, right?
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, well, let's get around to that. So this is a story of a guy named Josh Brolin. I forget what his actual name. Joe something? Joe Dox?
Yeah.
He's an asshole. It's he's an advertising guy, and he's a dick to everybody, and he's not there for his daughter, and eventually he gets drunk one night, and he loses his job, basically, blows the big deal with... Oh, what is that guy's name? That he was in the restaurant with trying to pitch to. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Oh,
I don't remember his name,
He's been in other stuff. Anyway, yeah, there's a couple people like that in here. He just like goes around being a drunk asshole until he finds some lady with an umbrella and a bunch of tally marks on it, and she disappears, winds up in a room. He's imprisoned there. He can't get out. They give him food and TV and whatnot, but like he's trapped, and he's trapped in these four walls for a very long time. Years go by, and eventually it's like they stole his DNA when he jerked off into a pillow. That was fun to watch. A bunch of other material, and they frame him for the murder and rape of his wife, and his kids going into like the foster care system, all this sort of stuff. They're feeding him this information through the news on his TV and whatnot, and they're just like, yeah, let's torture this guy's brain for like decades. Well, 2 decades, but like, yeah, he tries to make friends with mice. They kill the mice. Then at a certain point, he's just like,
disturbed me.
That what?
Yeah.
That really disturbed me. Like, not the fact that more the fact that they took something that he loves.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's a lot of this movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
The whole first sequence of this movie, like, when he's stuck in that room, I'm like, why do I feel like I'm on some weird LSD trip a little bit here?
I mean, he kind of is.
It felt so weird and so random, and there was just the part with the bellhop. I was like, this man is from the poster. Is he just hallucinating?
Yeah, he's hallucinating
right now?
He's losing it. He's like gone full Castaway and is like making a friend out of his pillow because he's completely isolated for years.
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. That whole sequence where he's in the room for 2 decades, that was probably my favorite part of the film. It can honestly be its own short film for
maybe.
Like, yeah, like that. That's just my interpretation about it.
It was a little bit better than the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and he's
it's like a suspense thriller. It could work.
Yeah, and actually, it's a bit like what was that one? John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh yeah,
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah,
that's it.
Lane.
It was kind of like that a little bit, except it was just like a one-man show. And Josh Brolin is a pretty good actor, so it was actually
make it work.
I will give Josh Brolin credit. This he was really good in the movie. I liked his acting a lot. Like,
especially
was he a good character? No, but was he a good actor in the movie?
He did what he could with it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he eventually starts seeing these clips from the show about like unsolved cases, and one was the murder of his wife and like what happened to the little girl afterwards and all that sort of stuff. And he like resolves like, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna find my little girl, and I'm gonna be some kind of like good father. He like starts writing letters to her constantly because they gave him pen and paper. And
it's a hotel.
Stacks up like a crap ton of these letters while he's slowly training his body, watching aerobics and exercise movies and kung fu movies to learn how to fight, and just trying to make himself so much better a person than he was before, which, okay, good. And he's like marking off how many years he's been stuck in there of trying to plan an escape, which he nearly pulls off until they catch him, gas him, and then he wakes up in a field in a trunk. Clean shaven, new suit, couple $1,000s in his pocket, and a cell phone that he's never seen before. This is a trippy movie, without a doubt.
I mean, you figure, you know, he got in there in 1993, literally got out in 2013. They literally showed, you know, all the real world events that happened, and he's never seen a modern cell phone. He's never seen modern technology. Everything's probably like, what the fuck to him?
Yeah, he's adapting
he probably
fairly
knew
quickly.
A lot of it through the TV.
Yeah.
Like, so he probably would be like, okay, this is a cell phone. I just don't know exactly what I'm supposed to use it.
Right. Like, he was seeing, like, presidential elections and current events. I'm sure, like, 2007, like, Steve Jobs on TV would have shown up at some point, among other things. I'm sure he would have heard of, like, Google is going, like, crazy and, like, all sorts of stuff. Like, he went in pre-Google. That's weird to think about. But yeah, so he gets out. He is kind of chasing the lady who put him in there, but he doesn't catch her. She gets away, and he ends up like fighting a whole bunch of guys on a soccer field and showing that, okay, he is definitely not the person who went into that prison. And he just destroys those people very violently.
Children.
Runs off.
Weren't they like a high school team?
I think they seemed older than that.
They were just like a bunch of like
Yeah.
adults who were all playing soccer together, and
I'm
they had like their wives or girlfriends or whatever with them.
I'm assuming it's like an amateur, like beer league kind of thing,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Gotcha.
Not really
I thought
important.
they were high schoolers. I'm like, they're kids. Stop it.
No, those were not kids. There's no
I mean, they
way
were
those
assholes to
kids.
him anyway, so
I mean,
I'd say good for him.
From their perspective, he was a random guy chasing down, trying to grab a lady.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely
They were
against
pretty
them on
innocent.
this. Like, they didn't know the
Also,
whole
like,
story.
They weren't very physical with him before he got physical with them. So.
I mean, I think they, like, threw him around, might have punched him once, and they're like, hey, man, stay away from her. I'm like, I'm kind of with them.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and is like, oh, and then, yeah, they just go at it, and he breaks them in half. He's not a good person, by any means.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that's one of the things I feel like in this movie, they tried to make him a better person than he was, or at least they tried to portray him like he was a better person.
No.
It didn't work.
Not at all.
I think to some degree, he's still not a good person, but now he has a good goal.
Yeah.
So...
He doesn't, though. His goal is revenge.
It kind of feels selfish.
His goal is revenge on the people who did this to him, but it's also find my daughter and give her these letters so she understands what happened.
And I think we're supposed to, like, sympathize with him because of the daughter thing, but to me it's just not enough when everything else around it.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I don't feel any sympathy for this man. And I'm sorry to say that. I know he went through, like, some shit when he was in captivity, but watching his actions, it doesn't make me feel very sympathetic.
I mean, this is a revenge story. It's not really about,
I know.
I think to some degree he would like redemption, but he's also probably in the mindset of, this is not on the cards for me.
I mean, I think we're supposed to feel that he's being foolish and that he's wrong in the end because he gets his, like, comeuppance and stuff like that, and the consequences, like, show to light. But it's like, I just wish he was a little bit more likable, you know? So that I would root for him until the horrible thing happens, you know?
Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. He goes, he like tries to find the umbrella lady, but like it was a homeless guy had the umbrella now. He runs into Elizabeth Olsen, who's like, what's her name? Marie? Something like that?
Maria.
Yeah.
Marie.
And she's like, oh, this guy must be another homeless guy who's going through a lot of stuff. He clearly looks like he's going through a lot of stuff. Here's my card. He goes and finds his buddy, who is
Chucky.
Yeah, Christopher from The Sopranos. Good to see him still doing stuff. And he's the only person who's, like, helping us. Like, you disappeared 2 decades ago after killing your wife. He's like, I didn't kill my wife. Okay, I believe you. That is a very good friend right there. Who just immediately believes that you did not kill your wife and then run for it. Yeah, he's like, okay, tell me what happened. You won't believe me. Tell me what happened. This is what happened. He's like, fuck me. Okay, what are you gonna do? Try to find the guy. Cool. He tries to help him out where he can, and from there, it's just a series of him trying to figure out, you know, what clues can I get out of this cell phone and this guy, this British person on the other end, and, you know, what am I doing? Can I find the people who imprison me? Can I find this guy who got them to imprison me? Can I find my daughter? Can I find, like, and it's just, like, him slowly trying to investigate. He's like they fed him dumplings all the time at the prison. So he's going to every dumpling place in, like, the area and trying every single one of them till he can find it. And he's got to, like, track down where the deliveries are going, because it just so happens when he was there, when eating those dumplings, a very big delivery of dumplings was placed. And
that was convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
Okay,
he follows that truck, picks up a hammer, and goes and finds the place. What's up?
Cece brought up a good point during this scene.
Yep.
He at that point did not know he was being kept with a bunch of other prisoners.
Yeah, like, I thought going and finding the dumplings was a good move, but
yeah,
just being like, oh, they're ordering a ton of them. Clearly, this is going to the prison where I was held captive. Like, I probably would have thought that they were just torturing me and me alone.
See, I can understand both sides of it. If you're a person who's like, yeah, they're just coming after me because you don't know what's going on around you, sure. But at the same time, I think he did try to, like, stick his head through that, like, door at the bottom. I mean, it was a big area that he was seeing outside, possibly for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Again, like, just the precision that the whole place was built around and the uniformity that everything, like, went on a routine, I think it is easy enough to, like, jump to the conclusion of, like, this might be a system that is being used for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Still, just to see one person picking up a giant order and be like, that's it.
I'll be honest, I think what else helped is because the guy had a British accent. I think that was
like,
part of it. I think now he
British
immediately
accent all in black.
He associates British people now with like trying to kill him.
I think it was like all he had to go off of, so he just went with it, and it's like
what
he would have just gone back to the restaurant if he was wrong, you know?
Yeah, it's like, what else are you gonna do? Like figure out where all the deliveries are going,
right?
Or something? Like it's not like the biggest restaurant, and yet it's got this enormous order coming out, and they're saying like same thing this week or something.
Yeah, it's like they do this all the time.
This is a regular thing. Who does he know that's like getting so many regular orders of this food? The people who imprisoned him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, could have just been like a company lunch.
I
that
get
would
it.
have been real
I
awkward.
get it.
The plot had to move.
Yeah, I get it. It's a jump, but it's a jump that I think a number of people would easily make. And it just happened to pan out. I feel like if they had like taken, because like here's the other thing. When he tried his escape attempt and came out of that vent, he saw the general area that he was in. If he wanted to, he doesn't have the time to do this, but if he wanted to, he could probably follow a bunch of other deliveries or orders from that restaurant to try to see where it goes back to a place that looks like that. It just so happened he got lucky on the first shot, I think.
Yeah,
But
okay.
there's ways of working through this. Anyway, gets back to the prison, has a hammer, sneaks in, kills the guy who I thought for a minute was Crowley from Supernatural, but I don't think it was actually him.
He has a similar look about him.
But then he kills Rami
Malek
Malek.
later.
What's Rami Malek doing here for 10 seconds?
Rami Malek!
Yeah.
I know this
I mean,
is pre
was that
Mr.
before
Robot.
he got big, though? That's
This
the
is-
thing.
This is pre Mr. Robot, but it's also after Night at the Museum. I thought he was bigger than like being in a 2-second role.
Yeah. I was sad.
Yeah. Then he tortures Samuel L. Jackson by like carving into his neck
That
a
was
whole
a
bunch
lot.
and pouring salt in there and good times.
Yikes.
He finds out
I did not know
this is-
Samuel L. Jackson was in this movie, and then I was like, wait, Samuel L.
Dude,
Jackson's in this
Samuel L.
movie?
Jackson's everywhere, man. You can always assume to some degree there's at least there's at least 3% chance that Samuel L. Jackson will be in a movie if you don't know anything about it. I'm just saying, the man works a lot.
They put a lot of good names on the movie.
Yep.
It's because Spike Lee
I mean,
just
you
knew all
got
these
Josh
people.
Brolin, Thanos, you got Nick Fury, you got Scarlet Witch, the assassin for the main bad guy was Mantis, so there's 4 MCU
Yeah.
people in there.
Yep. And then you got Rami Malek. Wait, was
Gone
it
too
Yeah.
soon.
Oscar winner Rami Malek?
Yeah.
Oscar winner Rami
Yeah.
Malek. You know what this is like that first Spider-Man movie where Octavia Spencer is just like signing people in for a wrestling match.
Just
You
so
won an
weird.
Oscar. What are you doing here?
It's a cameo.
Yeah. But yeah, so he tortures him, finds out more about the facility, finds out that a little bit about the people involved in this. And then, people are coming after him because, hey, I just killed 2 people and I'm torturing their boss. I gotta fight my way out of here. And we get to the infamous, well, not infamous, like the famous or notorious hallway scene.
This version was shit. I'm
It
just
was
going to
so
say that
bad.
right
So
now.
the specifics of this. This is a long take, a long shot of a series of fights between our main character and a bunch of henchmen. He's using a hammer, he's using the environment, he's using like whatever he can to essentially get out of here. So in the original, I think first off, the one of the big problems here is that they don't actually like establish the setup for this shot. Like, he's coming out, and then suddenly he's there. You said it was like a video game.
Yeah, it's like they all stopped
Yeah.
and just like
It was-
posed.
Yeah.
It was hysterical.
yeah.
They idle animation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an element
That
here.
was so weird.
It was funny.
I want to do a comparison with the 2003 version, because in the 2003 version, they set up the fight a lot better. He comes out with the guy as the hostage. You see the hallway that they're in. The way he comes out and towards everyone in this movie is not the same location as the hallway fight itself. It doesn't feel like, which is why it feels disjointed. For the original, the 2003, he comes out, he's got the guy held hostage, he releases him to them, he's like, he's gonna need some blood, you better like get him to a hospital or something. And you see the hallway. It's maybe 5 feet wide at best. It's very compact, there's a bunch of people, it's dimly lit, but like you can see everything very well. And then it switches to the side view of the entire fight with a slow, uncut tracking shot. that just follows him as he's fighting through this entire thing. And they kind of do the same thing in this one. In the 2013 version, it's so choreographed.
Yeah.
And it's so, like,
it feels
everyone's...
Well, and more importantly,
yes.
in the original version, they actually fight like real people. They gang up on all of them at once.
Well, here's the thing.
And they, you know...
Here's the thing, and here's why I think it works better in that one than it does this one. There's too much room in this one.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense how they're fighting him one-on-one. When you watch the 2003 version and really, like, break it down, there's only, like, 2 or 3 people fighting him at a time. They don't... All 15 guys don't gang up on him at once because there's not enough room. It's still that hallway that we saw and established and saw it was very tight. They can't all get to him at once. So it does allow a sensible breakdown of the fight. For Josh Brolin's fight, it doesn't make any sense. Just swarm him. Dogpile him.
Why are they all going one by one to fight him? So weird.
And because of that, you have to break it down. You have to make it one-on-one fights that lead into each other with the Josh Brolin fight. And it ends up looking like kind of like some of the fights in The Last Airbender, where it's like you're clearly waiting for your cue to go and attack the actor. Versus the other one, it's so natural. Flows so well. I think there might have just been some better, like,
have a
stuntmen.
code of respectability in American movies.
It's unrealistic.
They wait their turns.
It's unrealistic, and I don't know that this is, like, should I be worried about realism for a story about a guy who was, like, locked away in a hotel room for 2 decades because some guy had an issue with him? I don't know.
It just looks bad, though.
It doesn't look as intense.
Yeah.
But
the other one looked way better.
Yeah.
Like, I was enjoying the movie up until that point, but that scene was
jarring.
Like, it's
yeah. That's kind of like the halfway point where it's kind of like where I think you can split between, like, these two halves of this movie. So yeah.
And it's like it's like in the original film, that guy, I forget the main character's name in the original, like he barely got out of that fight alive. Oh, yeah. And Josh Brolin, he got stabbed in the shoulder, for plot. But, like, he could have easily taken everybody out all at once because they were idiots.
That was my big issue. Like, it's completely unrealistic. Again, I feel like this is, like, the American thing of, like, we're following, this is our protagonist, he has to be, like, the most badass. But it doesn't make sense for him to be able to actually fight that well in a real-life scenario.
Yeah, I mean, he's took like 15 years learning from kung fu movies. Not necessarily the best teacher of things.
He has not learned how to take a hit at all.
I mean, really, no. But yeah, I don't know. I think the other one just like showed what at least felt while you're watching it a far more realistic fight. Because like even they have moments in the Josh Brolin fight, same as the original, where they're kind of all like a little tired and kind of like slowing down a little bit. But I buy it in the other one because I feel like they were actually fighting.
Right.
The other ones, it's still like, oh, now we have to act tired because we need to act tired.
And that guy with the bat was the worst.
Oh my god, yeah.
Whatever he was doing.
One dude with a bat. Like I
got tomahawked.
I don't know if there was a tomahawk. It might have been the hammer. But yeah, he just had a bat, and like he just kept swinging and like
aimlessly.
Yeah, like I don't know what that guy was doing. Understandably, Josh Brolin had a knife at that moment.
To the side.
Yeah. It's in the first half of that fight scene. Josh Brolin had a knife, so it's like you don't want to get too close and get stabbed, but like you have a bat. It's got a good 2 extra feet than that knife's reach does. You can go for his hands with it. He's just not a good henchman.
This is an equal opportunity henchman employer. He was blind.
Okay, all right. We got a blind guy trying to fight the guy with a knife. Great. Yeah, everyone else seemed more competent in Korea, apparently. But yeah, past that, he fights his whole way out of there, and blah, blah, blah.
Comes back.
Yeah, because she's got to patch this guy up, because, like, where's he going to go to hospital? No. Chucky helps him out. He calls her, and she reads his letters while he's knocked out, and yeah.
Decides she's in love with him.
Yeah, more or less. So, we'll get there. Anyway, he's got to figure out what to do next. I kind of forget what he does at this point.
I don't know. He just goes around. Oh, at some point, the guy shows up at the bar, but I don't know when that was.
Wait a minute. I think I remember. Now he's, like, working with Chucky, trying to, like, figure out, I got a list of people who I know I've wronged. Let's see if it's any of them. Yes, he's doing the My Name is Earl thing, and he's going around trying to figure out who might have been able to do this to him. He's got a good amount of information at this point. British guy, a lot of money, clearly well-connected. Who have I pissed off like that? And it's actually not that many people. But
yeah, they find out pretty quickly who he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because he shows up at the bar and puts the ultimatum, figure out who I am, I will clear your name, I will let your friend go, and I will give you like $20 million in diamonds.
And kill myself.
And
And kill myself, yeah.
Yeah,
Who,
it
by the
wasn't
way,
let his friend go. He had the daughter.
Oh yeah,
Well,
let the
so
daughter go.
fine.
But
Yeah.
also the friend, Marie, was also like across town, like having a bad
Yeah.
time. And he's like,
That's
go
right.
find her. I want to point out, that's Cheerando Copley, who, he's not a big actor, but he was in District 9,
Yeah.
which was I actually think was his first acting role. But
That was a great movie.
I always enjoy seeing him in a role, because it doesn't matter what he's in, he's always going to swing for the fences.
He
like,
might have missed in this one.
Even in movies like that aren't that good, like this one, or like the A-Team or something, or like if you see him in Hardcore Henry, dude's playing like 15 different people and never
Yeah.
does the same
Oh, who is
person
he in
twice.
Hardcore Henry? I did see that one.
He is like he's the guy. He's the
So
guy
many
with all the
people.
clones.
Oh, is he the main villain?
No, that was Julian Assange or something. I don't know. That's not actually true. That's the guy who does WikiLeaks, but he looked like Julian Assange. No, Cheerando Copley's his buddy, who like he keeps meeting and he keeps like changing personalities.
Oh, that was him. Okay.
Yes. He's the guy in the wheelchair with like the 18 different clones, each one with a different personality. I'm like, okay, you are just having
okay.
so much fun right now. Good for you, Cheerando
Okay.
Copley. He's entertaining. I enjoy seeing him and stuff. But yeah, so he goes to help Marie stop Samuel L. Jackson and his buddies from doing a lot of nasty things to her, and they're gonna basically cut his throat and torture him and all sorts of stuff until Cheerando Copley calls and says, hey, I left money on the door. Please let this go. And Samuel L. Jackson's like, okie doke. I don't know how much money that took, but it was a lot, I bet. Yeah. So, she's involved now. They think they might have an idea of where to go. They found the ringtone for the cell phone is the fight song for the prep school that he went to. So he goes there trying to figure out who he might have pissed off. Talks to an old teacher. Well, Marie talks to an old teacher while he's sneaking around the house for a yearbook. Figure out some guy named Adrian Price. I think there's a continuity error here. Because I think when we first see the yearbook, it says Adrian Doyle Price. But whenever we see a picture of the yearbook that he took, it says Adrian Price. I think it's just a hiccup. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Go to the school, break in, look through the records. He has flashbacks of his time at prep school when he was just as much of an asshole as he was before. He bullies people and drinks all over the place. And then he sees the guy's sister fucking her dad in the greenhouse.
He did not know it was her dad yet, but
True, but still tells everyone she fucks a whole bunch of people and she's a whore. Not a great thing to do to anyone ever, regardless of who you're
I
sleeping
don't
with.
know if they explicitly stated it in the movie. I kind of have blocked a lot of this back out of my memory.
No, they did.
But he said she was fucking old men for money.
Oh, not that.
Yeah, he didn't actually have any evidence to say that, but like still, you do see someone fucking someone in a greenhouse, clearly in secret. It's that guy
But the thing
fucking.
was, he only told Chucky and like I think some girl.
Dude, he said
and then
he
it
told
was-
half the campus.
Yeah.
Well, and then they turned and bullied.
So
the girl
that
didn't.
girl was Donna, the ex-wife.
Yeah, she was
Oh.
the only person being like, "Hey, stop, leave her
Yeah.
alone."
Honestly, I
Yeah.
think Chucky was the bigger asshole in school.
Yeah.
I think he was
seems
just
like
as
it.
much
They
of an
were
asshole.
both just bad. I
Yeah.
don't know that there's any comparing.
No. Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyways,
That guy's
Chucky
sex
calls...
noises, though. Fucking God.
I don't know.
Just like
Don't know what
he's
that
a
was.
very loud guy. Nasty. Anyway, yeah. Turns out that was her dad, and this is her brother, and he's
Chucky
pissed
got
off.
killed.
Yeah, Chucky gets killed because he called her a whore over the phone, and of course, Cheerando Copley was gonna wiretap your phone. How did you not think of that? But yeah, they no one's having a good time right now. as if anyone was ever going to have a good time in this movie. But they figured out who he is. Now they got to go and deal with that.
But before they do that, for some reason, they decide to fuck.
Yeah, they decide to fuck. And CheerandCosplay is watching everything because he has cameras everywhere, because he is like... He's like that kind of like rich person who like can do anything at any time rich person. So just, you know, anything that seems like, wow, how could you have predicted that? Like, he can do it.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, maybe I'm just Ace, but that felt like it came out of nowhere.
No, it did.
Yeah, it did. It was so weird.
This is just
Especially for Brolin.
When we come back to comparing, I will explain that for you guys.
Cool. Anyway, Josh Brolin leaves to go fight the good fight, I guess. He shows up at the guy's place and kills Mantis. And then he's like, hey, so do you want to know why I did this? And he's like, do you know who I am? Do you know why I did it? Because you're that guy's sister, or you're that girl's sister, and you blame me for telling on your sister, for fucking your dad, and then then your whole family died as a result of that. He's like, let me explain it a little bit more for you. And then we get probably the most unintentionally funny scene in this whole fucking movie.
It was so ridiculous.
Father!
Yes.
Father!
Oh my god. So yeah,
What, the shotgun scene?
Yes. Turns out that Daddy wasn't just fucking the daughter, he was fucking his son as well, and everyone was doing, and then, like, apparently the whole family loved it. Everyone's just constantly having, it's gross. But
you don't understand it. We loved each other.
Yes. Oh my god. So it's apparently we're at the point in history where the dad is gonna get, like, it's gonna come out that the family's all doing this crap, and he's like, I'm going to spare my family the shame of everybody knowing about this. So he goes into his daughter's room. She wakes up, he's like, oh, father. And she's like getting ready to fuck him. And he just like blows her away with a shotgun. And then he walks calmly out into the hallway. His wife, who should have heard the fucking shotgun go off 30 feet away, calmly walks down the stairs like, husband, what's going on? Bang! She's gone.
I want to know why they ended up with that accent, because they were very blatantly American up until they moved to Luxembourg.
She had an accent. And he did too. I don't think they're American initially, but they're like very like international, rich, like we can move anywhere we want sort of thing. I know they were in Luxembourg. Anywho, after killing those two and having 2 shotgun blasts go off in the house, he calmly walks downstairs, reloading the shotgun, and his son is sleeping downstairs. Again, everyone's deaf in this family.
Then the son wakes up and he's like, yes, Daddy, let's
hello,
sleep
father.
together.
Unzip your pants, get shot in the chest, and then Daddy offs himself. God, just the most... And, like...
How?
It's all in one take, and, like, for the most part, it's shot pretty well. It's just the performances that are like... What the hell?
The moment she said father, I lost it.
It's hilarious.
She's like, father! Bang! Husband, what's going on? Bang! Reload! Father! Bang! Me! Bang! It was so, like...
I loved it for all the wrong reasons.
The line reads were hilarious, but it's like, how is no one hearing a 12 gauge go off 30 feet from them? I don't get it. Everyone is deaf in this family.
I mean, the wife probably heard it. That was probably why she was coming down.
Okay, she came down the stairs like this is an everyday occurrence. Like, husband, what's going on? Like, you hear a shotgun go off anywhere in the vicinity, in your house, anywhere near one of your children's bedrooms, you should be running. And the kid
Maybe
downstairs
he was like
is just
a pyromaniac. Maybe he regularly blew things up.
I'm also gonna say this. You just described them as, like, crazy, internationally rich, able to do whatever they want. Like, I don't know. This seems like something that, like...
You know,
weird shit would probably happen to them all the time.
Okay,
I don't know.
so we're going
like
under the assumption
servants.
that these are, like, we're gonna hunt people for sport rich.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll buy it. Mommy probably assumed, and the kid downstairs probably assumed, oh, he's hunting the butlers again.
Oh my God.
This is literally the
it
same.
Would make sense why they're keeping it within the family then.
Oh my God!
This is literally the same family that's literally fucking each other. So anything's possible.
You know what?
You're right.
Did you guys ever see what was that movie? Hide and Seek.
Yeah.
That like horror movie
yes.
about the girl who marries into the rich family. Yeah, this is
It's
that.
that type
This
of
is
family.
that family. They clearly worship Satan, and we're gonna blow up anyway at some point. Spoilers for that
Moving
movie.
on.
It's actually not a bad movie.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, he explains all that, and then he's like, now let me take you to your daughter. And he goes downstairs to his full production studio where he shows, hey, that show that told you about the cold case files and whatnot, I made that happen. It was all me. You were the only one who saw it. By the way, here's your daughter. She's playing the violin, and she's playing, the cello, sorry. Yeah, she's playing the cello, and he's like, hey, what's your face? You can leave now. Ashley, you can leave now. And she like wipes off the black eye and she just like goes away. He's like, that's not your daughter. That was never your daughter. Why would you believe that just because you saw it on TV? Here's your daughter. It's the woman you fucked. Now you know
that was the moment. I don't know if that was the same from the original film,
was the same.
but like
100% the same.
I just I just looked at the screen when that happened because like I didn't see it coming. I'll be honest. Maybe you guys did, but like but like whenever like towards the end when the guy was slowly explaining it and then Elizabeth Olsen came on the screen, then I knew what was gonna happen. I'm just thinking, oh, you motherfuckers aren't gonna do it, and they did it. I was like,
they did it.
Oh,
it's Oedipus Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure Josh Brolin wants to gouge his eyes out.
For Cece, I did accidentally spoil this for people while we were on a call because I was going through the list to like see what we were doing, and then I finally recognized the poster because I didn't recognize it by name. I was like, oh, this is the one where the dad fucks the daughter.
Well, you might have meant the other dad fucking the daughter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people fucking people they shouldn't be in this movie.
I mean, to be
How much incest
fair,
is there
like,
in this? More than you think.
More than you think.
Once it showed up the first time, when it showed up the second time, I'm like, okay, I hate this still. But also, this is why I hate it when they cast Hollywood actors with actresses who are much younger than they are.
Yeah, that was creepy.
I really hate it.
But
I hate it when they cast actors and their love interest is basically someone who could be as old as like their child.
yeah, but it makes sense this time.
Yeah.
I understand that, but still.
Yep. Well, so Josh Brolin, understandably, wants to die at this point.
Yeah.
But Shrio Copley's like, no. This is what I wanted. I wanted someone to share my pain. By the way, I'm killing myself. Bye-bye. I'm assuming his name is cleared at this point? He gets the diamonds. He leaves most of them to
We'll never know because he literally goes back to Samuel L. Jackson. It's like, hey, can you
this
put
is the epilogue.
like,
the epilogue.
Hey, I want to live in jail again, essentially.
Yeah, he gives, we'll say, the majority of the diamonds to Marie and is like, here, do something good with these and forget you ever met me. Dear God, forget you ever met me. For the love of all that is holy, forget you ever met me.
She does not.
Yeah, and
she
then
does not.
Yeah, and then he goes back to prison and he's like, here, take these diamonds. Keep me locked up. I deserve to be here. And we're all like, yeah, that's about right.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. Fun
Okay.
stuff.
You guys want to get the comparison? Because,
Go for it. I'm ready to hear some of these. I think I know some of the comparisons at this point. Like we did the hallway thing, but where
so
how much does it differ?
Plot wise, starting chronologically instead of like in order of the actual movie, Amanda was never fucking her dad. It was her and Adrian who were supposed to be fucking.
I think I did know that. Yeah.
That was what Joe was supposed to find out, and that's why they got expelled from the school.
Honestly, kind of understandable.
They get expelled?
Yes.
I thought the father moved him away because, like, she was being bullied, and then he was like,
Yes,
actually,
no.
I take it back. Let's just all
No.
die.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's-
they get expelled for that.
Okay.
In the
And then the
Korean
family
version,
moves.
not in this
Yes.
version.
So his real daughter was never a nurse. She was working in a diner, which is where him and Chucky would sometimes meet.
Okay.
And
that actually almost makes it an easier sort of like meetup point, because that would be the perfect place for him to come back to. Why wasn't that part of the plan? That could have easily been part of the plan.
So, the reason they actually fell into bed together so quickly and were like, oh, we love each other, was because they'd both been brainwashed.
I guess they didn't go that far with America.
Yeah. Brainwashing was a huge part of the Korean movie.
Right. There was like a hypnotist or something.
Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, wait, because this gets worse. At the end, so Adrian's name was Junwoo in the Korean version. So Junwoo kills himself after revealing it, like, ha 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 ha, I've got my comeuppance. And Joe's character decides to go to the hypnotist to brainwash himself and the daughter into forgetting they're related so they can continually go off and fuck into the sunset.
Oh, what?
Yup.
I'm sorry. I feel like I do not remember that was the... Hang on. I want to double check that.
I thought he did hypnosis to forget it ever happened and just ran away.
I thought that was it as well.
This is worse.
Hang on.
It is worse.
It's not that I don't believe you, it's just like I have a trouble feeling that that's true.
No, I looked it up on Wikipedia after the movie, and yeah, that was right.
Oh my god.
Oh, damn. Might actually be the first time I've seen an improvement from an American version.
Yeah. That's why I say the American version did try to make him more of a likable
martyr.
Yeah, they did try to portray him more as like a good person who just made a mistake.
I get what you mean now.
I don't know that Joe is a good person.
I'm like, no. I'm not going to give you props for putting yourself back in jail.
In the Korean version, not once was he ever really like, I'm a sympathetic character, you know, I'm kind of doing this for good. It was always about cold, hard revenge, and he was probably going to kill himself after it.
That's fine. Yeah, revenge is the number one thing in both of these movies.
I think I still didn't like him here and he was still a bad guy, but yeah, I think the ending, even though it's kind of lame, it's less gross than the other one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think this would have sat well at all with audiences had the original ending stayed.
More importantly, why would Spike Lee even attempt something like this? Like, this seems like the furthest thing from his usual wheelhouse.
Especially when... I don't like the plot, obviously. It really grosses me out. And, like, I feel like the Korean torture scenes were a little more graphic. So that also grossed me out.
I think they can get away with some more stuff over there sometimes.
But, the Korean movie was so well done.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And it
Just
didn't feel as rushed as the American one did.
That was surprising to me. The runtime on this is like under 2 hours.
Yeah.
It felt like we had a lot more time to like sit with the characters and learn about them in the Korean version. So like they did a really good job in getting somebody invested in the story they were telling. Versus the American, where like I feel like anything could have happened to Joe and it's just kind of like
Yeah.
That
was my main issue, or one of my main issues. I just didn't care.
Yeah, it's like, I saw it, and, okay, I saw it.
You see, I hated the part where it was like, we're just gonna dump all of the, like, background stuff about, like, their academy days all at once. And I was like, this is like, so sudden.
Flashback was very disconcerting, especially, like, having him stand there watching it with Marie, like, it...
Yeah,
I hated that.
It was also they also did that same thing with, like, the scene where Adrian reveals, like, how his father killed the family.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why I thought it was, like, really trippy. I'm like, why are we going through flashback sequences and they're watching it?
So, again, it makes a bit more sense in the Korean with the brainwashing.
No, that makes more sense if they're, like, dream sequences.
I was going to say, like...
Well, he had specific triggers set.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Winter Soldier
So when he sees the greenhouse, he's like, oh, I'm triggered.
Yeah, I think like part of the reason they probably changed it was because, like, I don't know, I feel like some people might have like trouble with the whole brainwashing thing. I feel like we had a lot of brainwashing plots in a lot of movies over the years.
Yeah, I don't feel like it made sense in this movie for Marie to fall into bed with him the way she did.
I get that, and yet
without the brainwashing.
And yet at the same time, she was kind of brainwashed over you. She wasn't really brainwashed. She was kind of groomed by this guy to eventually do the things that he wanted.
All he did was make sure she grew up to be a kind person. So again, it makes more sense in the brainwashing aspect where he's like, I made the perfect woman for revenge against you.
And the thing, too, is that, like, I think American audiences could have taken a brainwashing twist because literally the next year, 2014, we had Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and Bucky Barnes' whole shtick is that he's brainwashed.
I get that.
As trigger words.
I get that, but first off, I don't think they would have known that was going to be a thing immediately, that they could have been like, oh, well, we'll use that and the audiences will know about that. That doesn't, so, like, what may have happened in the future can't really be, like, accounted for when you're making a movie now. But I think, like, that's a comic book movie and people are just ready to accept whatever with a comic book movie.
So, even Joe getting out of the prison, someone who has a psychological break the way he did doesn't just magically get better out of nowhere.
No.
But they brainwashed him into getting back on track because Junwoo wanted to have him, like, as a whole person to tear down again.
Yeah, she was also in on it in the Korean one.
The hypnotist or the daughter?
The daughter.
Oh, that makes it worse.
She didn't know, but, like...
She didn't know the details of the plan, but she was like, my father was a piece of shit. I want to destroy him mentally.
Because she was brainwashed.
Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which version I would believe more as far as realism. Then again, realism kind of goes out the window with some of this stuff. I mean, just the prison in general is a little... You know what? I shouldn't say that. There are some crazy rich people things that we probably don't know about. This might be a real thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut. Elon Musk might lock you away.
Elon Musk doesn't know who I am, and if he does, he shouldn't give a shit.
Nah, he's just too busy trying to buy Twitter for the stank memes.
He doesn't want it for the dank meme. He wants it so he can make people stop making fun of him.
Too late. We'll never stop making fun of him.
I know.
Well, and he's going to have to buy Facebook and TikTok and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, this... I don't know. I didn't hate this movie. I guess it just didn't affect me much.
I hate it on principle.
What's the principle? Is it the principle of remakes or
the plot?
Oh
no,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But also as a remake, it failed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it didn't really
bombed.
like improve upon anything.
It wasn't a great movie.
Principle of the plot, like I feel like I've already seen this in Game of Thrones. Like I watched that whole show and like I don't know that they did anything worse or anything in this movie.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Far more condensed, I will say that. It's a little bit more all at once, I suppose, but...
I mean, I've also had a lot longer to sit with the plot of this.
I just hate it.
I mean, like I said, I was into this movie up until British guy did his monologues, and it's like, okay, I kind of get this Evergreen Academy thing, but then... Oh, family incest. Okay, this is weird. Okay, wait, no. He fucked his daughter. shit.
Very funny scene though. We got to give him props for that.
I mean, I didn't laugh at the scene. I was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on?
I am actually also... I know there were really good actors, so they probably suffered from bad directing, but, like, a lot of the characters just did not work in their roles. Like, when Samuel L. Jackson's being tortured, like...
Yeah.
It didn't work for me.
It was so awkward. He seemed very calm.
If you're running a private prison where you're keeping people unlawfully
maybe
detained
he's
for
just
some...
really tough. I don't know.
Yeah, and this guy's the head of it. He's clear. Like, I don't know who he is, but I feel like you've had, like, you're like Jules from Pulp Fiction. Like, he gets a gun pointed at him. He's like, I'm sorry, this is not the first time I got a gun pointed at my face. I'm not really going to react to
I
this.
just wish maybe they had emphasized that or something, because it just felt a little weird.
I think part of it is it's Samuel L. Jackson.
In between the scene, like, of pouring, like, the salt in or, like, cutting him, when he's like, no, don't do it, like, that was believable. But, like, once it was actually happening, where he's just like, fuck you, motherfucker.
I mean, he did straight up say, later when they were in the hotel room and he was the one torturing Joe, he was like, the last person that got the jump on me, like, I don't even remember what, but...
I tortured him for, like, 15 days.
Tortured him for, like, 15 days, that was it. So, like, this has happened to him before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I guess I kind of lied then.
You don't get to the position that he's in without going through or doing things to people that is terrible.
That's fair.
So.
Defend the father.
Defend the father?
Yeah.
The line read.
Why would I defend the father?
Because, like, some of these people are really great actors, but, like, their characters just fell flat.
Oh, we're trying to defend
the father.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, I was like, yeah, I think, like, that sentence
No,
was just
defend
weird.
father, like,
As a
raping
line
his
read?
children.
No, you can't. Okay. I don't think there's any sort of, like, thing. You're asking about defend the line reads and that. No,
Yes.
There's no defense of them. They're hilarious. That's the only redeeming quality.
Josh Brolin was a terrible character at the start of the movie and throughout the movie, but I thought acting-wise, I thought he was really great. Like, I felt kind of bad for Josh Brolin. Like, he acted the shit out of this movie, and it just... He really didn't need to go that hard.
I feel like he definitely put in, like, a ton of work for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, whether that's, like, the emotional stuff, the psychological things, or, like, even, like, he goes from, like, out of shape to in shape very quickly in this movie. I think that probably, like, I gotta give him points for that as well.
He did do a really good job with the mind break.
Oh, yeah. I think Envy's right. That the best part of this movie is him breaking down in the prison.
Yep.
Like I said, that whole sequence where he's in the prison, like, if you just, like, cut a few things where, like, let's say, you know, you just have that guy waking up in the hotel room, and then you actually have him escape, that could be, like, a good 10 to 15-minute short film. Just, like, him slowly losing his mind in prison, and then you can put two and two together about his backstory, and then, was he a real killer? Was he innocent and all this?
He wasn't the real killer. We saw him take his stuff.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if you didn't have no other context, like,
Okay,
I'm trying to
so
rework.
If
I'm
the
trying to
movie
rework.
started with him waking up in the prison.
Yes. I'm just trying to rework this into like a.
Afterwards, they have the news story, and he's like, "What? I didn't do that." Okay, all right.
I'm trying to rework this as like a really good short film rather than this hour and 40-minute movie.
You like just end with him like breaking through the vent and looking outside.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm with you on this, actually. Yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah, that might be the way to go. But then we wouldn't get the fun incest plots.
I hate that.
I don't know. Anyone have anything else to say about this? I feel like we've covered the majority of what's in here.
Don't watch it.
Yeah. Don't watch it.
Just
I don't think it's worth the watch.
Just watch the original hallway fight scene on YouTube from 2003. That's what I did.
Yeah, if you're going to watch anything, watch the original 03 because it's done a lot better.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing the original. That's pretty much all I got out of this.
I think we studied that in class, that fight scene.
I'd imagine so. Like, it's a really good fight scene. I know it was the basis for, like, some other ones that came later, like the hallway fight in the one of the early episodes. Yeah, the Daredevil.
Was it continuous shot?
Yeah, it was a continuous shot. Though I think there was, like, a couple, like, editing tricks that they did with, like, going around corners and stuff like that where you could hide some edits. Overall, in the show, it's a continuous shot.
I love continuous shots. They're, like, super talented.
Oh, yeah.
Birdman.
Yeah, have you not seen Birdman?
Yeah, I keep meaning to.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Birdman's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, any final thoughts? I think we said most of, like... Yeah, it's pretty much interesting. Josh Brolin does a good job. There's a funny scene where a whole family gets murdered.
Nothing else to say, really.
Those are pretty much the highlights for me.
Yep.
Oh, no. Rami Malek gets killed. And it's, like, just weird.
Was he the one at the desk?
He was the one at the desk. He got the claw part of the hammer in his skull. He died really well. I will say that.
It sounded like when the henchmen came in and they noticed something was wrong, they were more offended about him having died than the driver.
That is, that's always something that you, like, never see. There's always, like, the nameless henchman kind of thing. But Samuel L. Jackson knows his employees and probably hangs out with them. He's like, oh, they killed Bobby. What the hell? Like,
yeah, they were all like, Marco, no.
I'm like, if you are working with someone for so long, you should have that reaction.
That's true.
Honestly, Rami Malek added a large degree of realism to this story. Let that be said.
Just like the 30 seconds he was there.
Yeah. You know what?
Made me think.
That is Rami Malek 100%. Any addition that he makes improves the film that he's in.
You're right.
This is completely unrelated, but that just made me think of that scene from the Avatar finale. I can't believe the captain remembered my birthday. He really does care.
Well, there you go. That's you gotta care about your henchmen. Yeah. Always care about your henchmen, because that's how they hench so good. All right. Anything else?
I guess 10 out of 10 would work for Samuel L. Jackson.
That's definitely. So long as no one else escapes that prison, because as soon as someone escapes that prison, we're all dead. But yeah, so moving on. Next week is 2014's Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise sci-fi action film, which was branded a whole bunch of different things because they couldn't decide on a title for the release. It was Live, Die, and Repeat. All You Need Is Kill. It's based on All You Need Is Kill. So, like, a whole bunch of different stuff going on there. Emily Blunt's in it and some other people, and yeah, we'll watch that. After that, we have 2017's Ghost in the Shell, and then 2019's Alita Battle Angel, and after that, we're going to be going over everything that we've watched and discuss the highs and lows of our lives, I guess.
There are a lot of lows, not gonna lie.
But
does
some surprising highs. We've already watched Death Note, so we didn't feel the need to.
So do I need to?
If you would like to, you can. That's entirely up to you. You live your life how you see fit.
Are we going to be really honest?
We'll absolutely include Death Note in it. It is an adaptation, but we already watched it, so we're not going to waste our time here.
Yeah, I will say that if you are going into it expecting a bad movie and expecting to, like, watch it as a bad movie, you might have a good time. I don't know. I was enjoying myself because I wasn't expecting too much.
I enjoyed a couple things in it.
Or something for it.
Well, you do that. We'll all watch Edge of Tomorrow, as should you if you haven't already seen it, and then we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!